everybody, this is Josh. Welcome to Game 3 in a best-of-7 series being played between RGN.Spades. He's the blue Terran down on the bottom spawn of Terminus SE from the GSL. His opponent today is Dream.Attero, actually Team Dynamic.Attero. Dream Vision Gaming was his former team, but Battle.net doesn't let you change names very easily, so he's a little bit misrepresented, but TD.Attero is the challenger right now, and he's up 2-0 against RGN.Spades after the first game went very, very quickly in Attero's favor, and the second game went very, very long in Attero's favor. The second game was one of the most ridiculous ones I've ever cast on the V. Aside from there was a game on Shattered Temple between Cruncher and Dignitas Show that was actually a stalemate. It was a 40-minute stalemate. It was the first one that I'd ever cast in a show match for a real event, and it was pretty crazy, but that one definitely was crazy. Carriers, DTs, no detection, no SCVs, only 2 Vikings left, and a carrier with 36 kills saved the day. That thing was absolutely a boss carrier. But yeah, Spades was our reigning champion, actually still is our reigning champion until Attero manages to take him out. We'll see if that happens or not, but Spades won last week against Vile Hawk, a very good Zerg player, 4-2, but Attero is proving to be quite formidable here in week 25 of the V, which is a best-of-7 show match, King of the Hill style series that I cast each and every week, hosted by Complexity Gaming, sponsored by Creative Sound Blaster, PNY, and QPadUSA.com. I'm AskJoshy. You can check out all my stuff on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube.com/AskJoshy. But right now, the V, Attero 2-0 lead. Can he build upon that and make it 3-0? That would be very, very difficult for Spades to be able to fight back. I believe Spades did take a 3-0 lead against Hawk last week, and then Hawk won his 2 games after being down 3 games. So we'll see. We'll see if this makes it to a Game 7 or not. Looks like both players still just doing very typical stuff. Protoss just getting an assimilator and cybernetics core, very standard timings. Back over in Spades' base, he still has not built a refinery, so he might be going for that fast expand once again. Yeah, super fast expand over here on Terminus SE. It used to be Terminus RE, but SE means that this destructible debris was added to guard the third base. Just another point of entry to attack from. Both players know where their opponents are already, I thought. Actually, Spades did not do any scouting yet, so he's not going to find Attero until the very end. Attero also dropping a pretty quick Nexus there, so looks like we're gearing up for another macro game between these two guys. All of us are friends. We did hang out at MLG Raleigh and discussed the V, how the games would go. Attero promised Spades that he would defeat him 4-0, so let's see if that is going to be the case. He's well on his way to doing that. 3 barracks going up all at once for Spades is the same thing we saw on Tal'Darim Altar. He went 2 tech labs and a single reactor, if I remember correctly, but he is getting these refineries up quite a bit quicker than he did in the last game. 4.5 minute mark, not a whole lot going on. Attero only has 1 fighting unit. This Stalker is going to shoot that SCV in the back and destroy him before he can see how many assimilators are up or see if there's any hidden tech. Good job by Attero, staying vigilant at the top of his ramp. Command center's done here for Spades, so he's going to flip that on over to an orbital command, most likely going to drop it here at the natural in just a moment. Guarding at the top of his ramp with a few Marines, still no add-ons here. He does have enough gas to actually drop one now. There he goes with the tech lab first, most likely going to be seeing the stim timing and perhaps an early attack, although Attero has been pretty good at warding off those early attacks so far in this series. One more gateway coming up for Attero. This makes me think 2-gate Robo is a possibility. Might even get to see an observer followed by a warp prism. I would love to see a warp prism. This is a great map to do it on, as you can just pick up, drop, and pick up, drop along those 3 bases. And since Attero is on Spades' right side instead of his left side, that can make it a lot more effective because it's such a short distance over here to that third base. Defective ramp, he says. Why is it a defective ramp? I have no idea what he's talking about. Oh no! Wow, he almost lost that Stalker just from that single Marauder shell. Last week, the BO7 was done in under an hour. No, it went 6 games. I think it was like an hour and a half, but there were some pretty quick games. Spades pretty much rolled him to start, but then we saw 2 very long macro games, followed by a, 25-minute Zelnaga Caverns, I believe. But yeah, there were some short ones. He did 6 pool, and Spades caught it. That actually was here on Terminus. that Vile Hawk 6 pooled and failed. That was like a 2-minute and 50-second game or something ridiculous. Gateway number 3 and gateway number 4 coming up. The robotics facility is done. Did he skip the observer actually? Yes, he did skip the observer in favor of a faster immortal. Will he build a pylon somewhere for some quick warp-ins? I believe this would be a really good spot, as he can get vision up on the high ground and warp in directly into Spades' main. We'll see if he goes for it or not. It's a tactic I've seen Huck use quite a lot with some success. Here we go, double Tech Lab reactor, just like we saw in the last game. Starport coming up now. Looks like that MMM build is one that Spades enjoys. He will probably eventually add on Ghosts. Let's go ahead and get that production tab up just in case I missed something, and I totally did. Robotics Bay coming up for Attero already. Doesn't look like he wants to do too much warp-in shenanigans, though. That Immortal really just there to help with Marauders and any siege tanks that may show up. He's not actually being too aggressive or anything like that. Spades actually has a few more fighting units, it appears. 17 total against 7, 8, 9. But Attero does have that huge probe count lead, once again, about 50% more there. Hawk did actually accuse Rain Spades of stream cheating on that match, just because Spades had his wall off done at his ramp by the time the 6 pool arrived, but you know, kind of don't want to talk about that so much. I don't believe Spades was stream cheating. I have no reason to believe that. Defending a 6 pool as Terran is actually not the hardest thing to do when all you have to do is wall off your ramp and have a Marine, and that's exactly what Spades did. So looks like a factory already doing some scouting, MMM in full production, as well as that +1 attack upgrade. Attero is going to have his extended thermal lances done here soon. He's got +1 weapons on the way and his first Colossus. But yeah, this factory is going to get a good look at everything in just a moment. And still no observer out of that robotics facility for Attero, I believe. Oh no, he did get the observer. Where is that little guy? Oh, there he is, right inside the main, checking out all the production facilities. He saw all that there is to see, saw the second starport coming up, and cannot get too close to the bunker line, but he knows it's there, as that turret was building when he passed by earlier. Spades loading up a big old drop here, about 7, 11 units total, loaded up in those 2 medevacs. Does Attero have good eyes on this? Yes, he does. Is he paying enough attention? Will he move his units down to the bottom side? Yes, he does. The factory going to be in position as well. Oh my goodness, Spades, are you going to go through with this? You can see that all these stalkers and the Colossus are right there. No, he's not going to go through with it. Good decision. He's just going to hang out here in space for just a moment and dooba-dooba-doop, not do anything. The factory, are you burning yet? No, you're not, so you're going to actually make it home. He could even drop somewhere and build a Hellion just for kicks, or make it all the way back into the main and get repaired up. Observer checking out the position of these medevacs. He's not really close enough to see them, but Spades really just deciding on a good time to pounce. +1 weapons are going to be done in just a moment. Twilight Council already finished, so he can go straight for that +2 weapon upgrade. Can also get charge or blink if he so chooses. Also can get that Templar Archive like we saw in the last game. So opening up all those options with the Twilight Council. Spades still just hanging out with this drop, not doing anything yet. The Observer trying to take a gander at the front line here, but it is going to take some damage. Oh, barely saves that Observer. Attero barely makes it away with just 6 HP. Vikings trying to take pursuit. Is he going to drop the scan and try and kill the Observer? No. That'll be a waste of a scan, I believe, as that Observer really can't get into the juicy parts anyway, as long as Spades build another turret or 2. But anyway, we have 2 starports with reactors, but he's totally supply blocked right now. He has no supply depots. There he goes, building 3 at a time right now. That's actually a big block to have to build 4 supply depots at once. The command center going to be done here soon as well, but Attero just churning out units still. Also adding on 5 gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gateways. That's quite a lot. Look at that. Oh, the drop finally came in. Looks like some zealots warped in to try and hold it off, but I don't think Spades actually got much done there. Workers killed, actually no workers killed, only 3 units killed total. So Spades says, no, Raynor. The single Marine left to die was Raynor, evidently. Attero's had control of this Zelnite Tower this whole game, 13 minutes so far, and Spades has really just been building tons and tons of units. His medevacs have returned home. He can go ahead and drop them and heal that Marauder back up perhaps, but he's not going to. Looks like the 3rd command center is going to flip into an orbital. Attero does have his 3rd base finish as well. He's going to continue chrono boosting out those probes. 60 harvesters to 52 right now. Upgrades still rolling. +1 armor, +2 weapons, charge, and that Templar Archives just about to finish. A bunch of stalkers headed out now to God knows where. Blink has not been started or finished, and he's going to head on over to the factory and start to attack that thing down. Is he going to be able to get it burning? Yes, he does. He can actually explode it all the way, so no more starports can be built for the time being. Not to mention any Hellions, Siege Tanks, or Thors. Lots of upgrades still rolling. Mobius Reactor for those Ghosts. We got an Armory building now. Combat Shield and Armor level 1 all started now for Spades. Where is that Ghost Academy? Where are you? That is Mobius Reactor, right? Ghost Academy? There it is. Cool. So he's getting that Ghost Energy. I don't know if he has any actually made yet. No Ghosts on the field just yet. Hasn't even built any. I guess he's getting the Mobius Reactor first before he starts to build any, though he could right now, and they would pop out with the upgrade. There we go. 3 Ghosts in production, but Attero going to be the first one to make a move this time around. No sentries in tow. Actually, here we go. 4 sentries bringing up the rear. Going to be good for Guardian Shields and Force Fields. Last time Attero's Force Fields were a little bit underwhelming. We'll see if he does a better job this time around. Several High Templar here. No Psystorm finished yet, but they have been gathering energy for a while, so once it's finished, up there in the production tab, he does have some storms available as well as those Colossi, so this can be very difficult for Spades to try and hold off. He does have a good number of Vikings already, 7 Vikings in the air to deal with only 3 Colossi. These Stalkers are going to have to be fast to deal with those Vikings. Oh, look at that, 2 big storms already murdering some of the Bioforces there. Attero leading with the High Templar. Very interesting tactic there, but he is dropping storms all over the place. That last one was kind of a whiff, but now he can just turn them into Archons and bounce in with the rest of his forces. Here we go. Archons being kicked around like soccer balls. Still more High Templar in the mix. Guardian Shields go up. Is he going to make use of those Force Fields? EMP splash all over the place. Vikings taking some shots at the Colossi. One goes down already, and it looks like Attero is actually outmatched here. I'll be very surprised if Spades does not just crush right through this. The High Templar unable to really do anything. Not morphing into Archon right now. Vikings land, and Spades is going to bop all of those units on the head and continue to get healed up. Attero trying to take a base here at the top spawn. It is kind of sneaky, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter. Only 1 Archon here for Attero. 8 kills total from those Templar and Archon so far. But Spades basically just said, thanks for sending your whole army into me. Now I can just rebuild. Now I can just build more. Command Center going up now. Imagine if this game was like League of Legends where every kill you got gave you more money. This game would be so over. Sorry for the League of Legends reference, I've been playing it a lot. Anyway, more simulators coming up here for Attero, trying to keep his economy ahead of Spades. He does have 15 more Harvesters, but unfortunately doesn't have that many fighting units. Spades could almost load up all these medevacs and go kill Attero right now if he wanted to. He could just drop right here, blast everything, and win the game. But Attero building lots and lots of gateways, 7 more gateways, 2 more robotics facilities, transferring a ton of probes up to that top spawn. I'm glad he didn't get caught. I'm not sure where this probe is headed, but if he's distance mining, he's going to have a long journey ahead of him. Spades is discovered by this observer. Thankfully for Attero, he can see all of this going on very easily. Command Center will be done in just a moment and probably will float over to this sort of armpit expansion. Pylon and probe taken out very quickly. Spades ahead by about 40 supply if you're only looking at fighting units. Because Attero has so much supply tied up in those Harvesters, Spades' fighting force is a little bit more formidable. 2-2 upgrades for Spades. I'm not sure what Attero's got going on. It looks like he does have 2-2 as well. Spades, not sure what you're doing over there. Looks like a bunch of Zealots warped in back over at the 4th base. Not sure why he would do that. He kind of gave himself away just by sending those Zealots in, and they're going to have to scatter and run away. Some of them aren't going to make it. Not sure if Spades is going to chase 3 Zealots or not, but here he goes, continuing through the middle of the map. Attero's still way down in supply. Let's see how well fortified his front is. He's got 5 High Templar, 2 Colossi, 1 Archon, all ready to do some splash damage. We'll see how effective he's going to be. He's going to need to actually deal with these Vikings very, very quickly. I'm not sure how he's going to do that. Big EMP on the High Templar, but it looks like a feedback did land on the Ghost as well. Good snipes, good feedbacks, good EMPs. Everything is out of energy as a result. That's really, really good for Spades, honestly, because he needed those storms against the Vikings. Attero's not going to be able to do that much here with those Colossi if they get shelled down by the Vikings that fast. 199 supply for Spades, 192. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum, Strato, how dare you make me play League of Legends? Charge Lot's going in, but again, Spades just appears to have the superior army, and that concave is massive. Storms aren't going to be able to hit everything. Looks like the Archons and Colossi all going to fall here, and this should be a pretty quick GG from Attero if Spades continues this attack into the natural. 170 supply for Spades, 136 now for Attero, and he's already at a deficit because he has 24 more Harvesters. I keep making a point of it because it's so relevant. 2-2 upgrades now just crashing in. One more big stim allows Spades to do that stutter step micro, keep the Zealots off his front line. Vikings doing their job perfectly against the Colossi. Lots of probes being pulled, and suddenly Attero has essentially nothing left except probes warping in more charge lots now, but those concussive shells still doing their job. Lots and lots of medevacs with plenty of energy means that this game is pretty much over. So Attero not going to get the 4-0 that he wanted. Spades probably glad just to get a single win here in this series. It's always kind of shameful to not grab a win in a best-of-7 series, so Spades breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. Attero hasn't actually GG'd yet, but I think we both know this is pretty much over. We got 5 High Templar here, only a couple of Storms saved up, lots and lots of medevacs still with plenty of energy though, so if Spades can continue to dodge around long enough, that is going to take Attero down to only 70 supply. All these Marauders getting healed back up to full. There's just so much energy left on these medevacs. A couple more Storms might do the trick, but it looks like he is forming Archons with the last of his Templar, and Spades is going to go up the ramp into the main. Attero not rebuilding anything anywhere. Archons coming in, trying to do some splash damage to the bio. Looks like a couple of medevacs will be taken out, but there's the GG, and we'll go into Game 4 right up next. Up next. LOL.